Hello and welcome to the Blockade podcast. I am your host Mirden. Alongside me today are my two co-hosts Melocat and Denya, as well as our guest Hoppaw, who will be joining us for our discussion on the modernization of maps for this week's topic. First things first, I unfortunately had to deal with some audio issues on my end this week, where my microphone was cutting in and out during the recording process. So, in order to fix this, I will be doing some voiceover this week over this recording to add context and to fill in the gaps of what my mic was unable to capture during the recording process. To start things off, we will be having Denya give a little introduction about himself since he wasn't able to join us the previous week, and then we will cut to Hoppa giving a quick introduction of himself as well. Let's get things started.
Okay, so I'm a content creator, mostly for Twitch, but I have been playing Beat Saber for about a good year and a half, I'd say, since about July 2019. And since that all started, I have grown more and more into doing content for the game. So that would be YouTube, that would be Twitch. I like to play the game very competitively. I peaked at around 44th globally and second in Great Britain. But I like to be a lot more relaxed now with the terms of what I do, and I like to just chill out a bit more. Best way I could put it. So not nice to being a lot more chill. So
Well, hi, I'm Hoppaw, and I started playing Beat Saber since the release, so since 2018. But I didn't start playing until, well, seriously until, maybe June 2018. That's a little bit after Score Saber first came up. I made my way through the ranks, peaked at rank 12.
When did you get involved with mapping for the Beat Saber community?
My very first map was November 2018. It was Blade Dance, and it was pretty shitty. I had a lot of vision blocks, but it was my first map in 2018 mapping. So
Yeah.
after that map, I didn't really map anymore until the following year, like maybe April, April of 2019 is I think when I really started mapping. I ranked my first map Sidetrack Day. Got a lot of
Bit of a controversy.
yeah, just a bit, just a bit. Mm,
I think I
Just a
remember
bit.
that one.
People would only mention it every time I showed up.
Following off of this point, I had made a comment about how the community complaining about new ranked maps was nothing new, that it feels like every couple months we hear, wow, they ranked this, as a common phrase that keeps coming back.
Well,
That's how I
there's
felt
still a
about
lot of
sliders.
controversial things, but I think a
Yeah.
lot of players um don't realize that there's other kinds of play styles and different kinds of players that like different things, so they get pretty pissed if they don't get something that they like sometimes. It is understandable because you are forced to play it right now. But the idea is that in the future, the ranked system is supposed to have so many maps that it doesn't matter. It's not supposed to matter what you play anymore.
Right.
A lot of people don't look at that. That's a view most of the ranking team shared. After ranked my first map, oh no, actually before I ranked my first map, 2 months before I ranked my first map, like in March or something, I joined the ranking team for the first time. I'm also the reason that Happy Song, Milk Crown, and Labyrinth are ranked, by the way.
Labyrinth.
Oh,
That's a
still
big
the best
one.
rank map. It's the best rank map, hands
I'm the
down.
one who put all those in queue. I also put Magus Night Fever by Kiki's in queue. You guys should be glad that never got ranked. Nuclear Star too.
From here, I had commented on how, despite the limited experience of the mapping community in 2018, there were still some mappers that were able to create some incredibly fun and memorable maps through their note representation.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. What Hex used to do is he would model his maps off of loved Osu maps and try to make it like construct it in a similar way as that loved map in Osu. A lot of Osu maps have like huge difficulty spikes and have some overmapping, so that's why uh, it was prevalent in Hex's map.
That does make a lot of sense, actually, considering the triangle jumps, which are still impossible to this day.
Yeah.
You know, they're never going to change.
I remember when he tried star jumps with Daisuke.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, I
Man.
remember that. That song used to hurt me so much, Daisuke. I get like nightmares thinking about it sometimes. Like it's such a great song, but that was like the biggest threshold for me as a player when I was like first really like trying to care about rank again. That one hurt me a lot.
What did you appreciate most about the old mapping styles? So, were there any old mappers in particular, maybe?
Sot, Kiki's, to an extent, Cheesy. Who else? Kizu, definitely Kizu. And Hex. Kizu, Hex, and Sot are probably the biggest influences on my mapping. Even though it might not be that apparent anymore. One thing that Hex also did, that's very Osu, and not what a lot of mappers don't really do anymore, is song progression. Like difficulty song progression. As a song gets longer, even if it doesn't get more intense, it gets harder.
Yeah,
Like
you
the
can
ending for
definitely feel that.
Mokran. Yeah,
Yeah,
like the
you've
ending
also
for
got that
Mokran.
with
The ending
Angry
of
as well.
Mokran is like so fucking insane. Same with Angry for.
Yeah, I remember that especially because obviously it was a really heavy stamina map, and especially for the time, man, absolutely killer.
So usually with Hex maps, like even if the middle is the most intense part, usually the ending would be the hardest part.
That makes a
Oh
lot
yeah,
of
definitely.
sense. That makes a
Yeah.
lot more sense now that you're actually saying that. Because I
Yeah.
remember when I was first streaming in Nuclear Star was like all right, can you pass this guy? And it's just like, let's find out. And I hated Nuclear Star because I couldn't beat it for the longest time. But I remember it's like
Nuclear Star
PTSD.
makes a little sense though, because
Yeah.
the drop is right at the end.
Oh gosh, yeah. I still get PTSD thinking about it. There was one person in my chat, they were like, "Do you think he's gonna pass the vibe check at the end?" And I was like, "Huh?" And all of a sudden it was just like the whole time, and I used to dread that song because of that, and that moment like still is in my head. I'm terrified of it.
I still won't play that map because of one pattern that I absolutely hate in it.
Oh boy, what pattern would it be?
On the streams where it's like the up notes on diagonal sides, I mean opposite sides, you know, it's that really shitty vibe check stream.
That's the best part. That's the
I
best
hate
part of the
that
map.
part. I fucking
love
hate
it
that
so
part.
much.
I don't.
Sorry, I don't know if this is supposed to be clean. Sorry.
Yeah, it's cool. But yeah, with that part especially, I don't know what it is. I want to see more maps actually integrate that because when you can hit it, oh my god, it feels so good. Because you know, you kind of just get that feeling of just like you're hitting a map. You know, you're actually hitting something that feels like it's created around the song rather than the map being created. Well, rather than the song being created around the map. Even though it makes no sense, it kind of makes sense to me.
Melocat, would you like to ask any questions?
Sure, gladly. So, Mr. Pa.
Yes.
So, obviously, a lot of people like a lot of the songs that I guess in the Beat Saber community you can say you've grown up with. Like, for me, I used to love Cycle Hit. I used to think that was like the biggest banger of all time. You know, and people love to hold on to those kind of maps. What kind of maps do you feel like didn't age well from like the original like 2018 map, or should like get that same facelift treatment that we're seeing nowadays?
Well, Cycle Hit, like you just said. Cycle Hit. Honesty.
Oh, I haven't heard that one in such a long time.
Honesty, yeah.
That slaps.
I
Yeah,
remember.
I was gonna
Have you
say
seen that
Avalanche,
remake
but I
of that?
remembered Narwhal made a new one. Ange DuBlanc.
Oh yeah.
I actually have maps in progress for Ange and Honesty and
Ooh.
the first one.
Was Ange just the one-armed jump map? If I'm remembering,
No.
if I'm
The
remembering,
spider.
yeah.
It's
I
the
can't speak.
stream map.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
the
stream with
stream map.
Nani Hira.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, I'm mixing it up with a different one. I remember there was one where it was just like the right hand, just like triangle jumps the entire map.
Quaver.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah,
that's
Quiver.
it. That was the one.
Quick little tidbit about honesty. I actually, UCI, the University of California, Irvine, they hold an event every year. Unfortunately, it couldn't happen last year due to COVID, but they have this massive auditorium where they host like this huge gaming event, and like even big companies like hardware companies come to get involved and like advertise stuff. And they had a booth that let people play Beat Saber, and it wasn't like official. It was more so like the club members at UCI put it up. So they were using their own personal laptops, so they were allowing for people to play custom songs. And like some people went up, like one person actually did end up playing Reality Check. I went up and I
Oh,
played
no.
Honesty, and like everybody fucking like this was back in like June of 2019. Everybody was like, "Dude, I don't know how you hit all those notes." I'm hope
That was before I even
I
started.
can't hit a lot of 2018 maps anymore because I don't play.
yeah,
And what I do play, I play newer maps.
it definitely
Radios.
takes like it's definitely a lost art to play 2018 maps because it takes patience to be able to acclimate to that old mapping style.
Oh, Teo too is one of them.
Oh my god, I would love
Oh
for a modern version
man.
of Teo.
Oh, that'd be so
Teo,
good.
Light Eye has one. I don't.
Oh,
I haven't
Oh.
played it though, so I don't know what
um,
it's like.
going back earlier, you said that you wanted like a modernized version of Cycle Hit. I actually made a video of a 2020 version of Cycle Hit, and I actually feel like it plays pretty well.
Who was it made by?
Multiple mappers made different difficulties. Let me pull it up right now.
Oh, okay.
Just
Because I
to
remember there
I'm
being
still
one.
thinking about making one, but I don't know.
I remember seeing one that was. I didn't think it was ever going for rank, but it was by Zillion and Foxy Boy. And I remember Zillion's diff being so good back in the day. I think it was. God, it's been about
oh,
good
that's the
6 or
one.
7 months since I played it. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
That's the one.
Zillion
Yeah.
made the I think Expert Plus, Foxy Boy, and X Unreal. They made
Yeah.
different difficulty versions for those, and yeah, I absolutely love Zillion's Expert Plus version. I feel like it plays very well.
I'm gonna say the Zillion's version on that Bliss acts so good. I don't know why I've always liked that, but it's been really, really nice.
Are you confident that your version of Nuclear Star can get Melocat to quit Beat Saber for as long as the last one did?
Oh gosh. Let me explain that one really quick. Remember how I was saying Nuclear Star like scares me? Well, I used to hate it so much I quit playing for like a month. Then I came back and then I beat it and I was like, cool, I'm just never gonna play that song again. And now whenever I stream, a-holes like to request it and they're like, haha, look, Nuclear Star. And I'm just like, no. And then I'll play it and then I'll just be sad the entire time. So yeah, that's the context behind that question.
Maybe the top diff.
Oh boy. Not again. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Not again.
I know some people don't like the top diff, but I don't whatever.
I feel like
It's one of
Almo-
those things where it comes to preference, I think.
I really enjoy almost the entirety of the map. There are some points where I feel a little uncomfortable hitting. Do you know the transition where it's towards the tail end of the second drop, not the last drop, but kind of like the mid drop after the initial drop, where after all those like slider note sections, there's like 3 up notes that transition right before it goes bring it back. I don't know how else I can explain it without providing visualization, but on Vive specifically, going up to hit those notes probably was like the most uncomfortable part, but it just took a little bit of practice for me. mentally prepare myself for that transition. As far as the last drop goes, I feel like it plays very well. I still struggle with the left-handed section, but that's left-handed section.
Yeah, I made the left-handed section. I actually made that as comfortable as I could. The transition into it. I saw a lot of people miss there on that left-hand section. So what I did was I reduced the spacing for the first few notes, and a lot of people can hit it now.
Okay. Yeah, and for a lot of people, they just like turn their nose up to left-handed sections, but it just takes some extra practice, and it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you've got the ability to just like, it's not really just necessarily hit left-handed sections. It's just being able to just, well, like with anything, it's just more practice than literally anything else.
Yeah,
because like you'll see a left-hand section, you'll be like,
I also think the mapper can set it up to be more comfortable.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Left-handed stuff can play a lot better if you transition into it. Better into it, like ease into it.
Yeah, that makes more sense. So it's just kind of like because if you're just gonna go straight into a left-handed section, it's kind of just like almost like a jump scare kind of thing. But if you kind of like ease the user into it, it's just kind of like they understand it. They will kind of get it. Yeah, speaking of beforehand,
it's like putting taking your kid's training wheels off, or trying to get your kid to ride a bike, and you're holding the bike up, and he says not to let go.
Oh yeah.
And then you let go. I mean, you help him first, then you let go without saying anything, and he keeps going. He doesn't even notice that the dad's holding on anymore.
Like a placebo effect.
Yeah. But speaking of older maps, though, what maps from 2018 or 2019 would you think that would make for a banger map with modern, more modern playing styles? So just like, say for example, I don't know, like we were on before, Cycle Hit. So like, what kind of maps do you think would be best?
Barry Go. Barry Go and Delta Max, I think, have some really cool, newer versions.
Yeah, they definitely have a lot more potential. Anyway.
Embryo.
Oh, that's
my
a good
god.
shout.
Embryo would also be a good one, especially in today's mapping.
God, it doesn't even feel that long ago where Embryo was like, like discussed, and like it was like one of the controversial maps of its time.
Yeah, the thing is, I wasn't even here to even see the start of Embryo, so
oh my god,
what's it called? There's one called Red Lips.
By
Hex.
Oh shit. I know that song, but
yeah, that one could also have a cool map.
Are there any maps from 2018 that you feel aged well? 2019, I think, can be included in that too.
I unironically think crime maps age well, for the most part.
Okay.
There's a few triangles, but a lot of his mapping styles like up and downs.
Yeah,
I think they age pretty
almost agree with that.
Not all of them.
I feel like a lot of Cry's old maps. I feel like a lot of Cry's old maps had like a lot of the similar ideas that we work with today. But I feel like they needed to be refined back then. Some of them, at least for me, in my opinion, felt pretty rigid to play. But they had basically like the elements that we see in today, and like polyrhythms and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You brought up earlier that Sot, Kizu, and Hex were some of your biggest influences. Who do you think has influenced the entire mapping community? Would you say those same three, or would you include other people?
I would say Hex, Sot, and Kizu.
So, modcharts, everyone loves them. You know, like the extrasensory event, that was freaking cool. I loved that event. all of them were really
Yeah.
cool. But what would a Hoppa inspired mod chart look like?
I mean, I have one,
I'm
but it's a
ignorant.
shitpost.
Oh, it's a shit.
It's old though.
It's old, but it's
Um,
good.
yeah.
It's good for the time.
I really would like to make some more or I would like to try making noodle maps.
What kind of
'Cause they're
song would
really
you like to
they're
go
really
for?
cool. I'm not sure. That's why I think I have trouble with really trying to find something to make for that.
Hmm. Are Pauls the next ranked meta?
Come on.
The next ranked meta. I think it's starting to lean more towards tech, I guess.
Yeah. That was more of a meme
But
question.
I don't know. I wouldn't really say that. I think everyone's just more so starting to find out their old styles and what patterns they like.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
personally,
everyone's.
I couldn't
Yeah, sorry, go on.
I couldn't see Pauls
I don't really
being
call
ranked.
my mapping tech, but I know a lot of people do.
Yeah, everyone's finding their own ways into like how, like especially now, everyone's getting inspired by their own terms. Like you got Cyan with just like extreme angles, and
Oh yeah.
some people disagree, some people agree. You've got Uninstaller with I can't even
We
describe
have a lot of
what.
different,
Yeah,
very unique map styles now.
yeah, definitely.
2019, the end of 2019 and the middle of 2019, in my opinion, was the worst time for ranked. A lot of the maps were very similar concepts, in my opinion.
I think
But I
maybe
guess
because
some of
go
that
ahead.
problem had to do. Some of that was also to do with how the criteria was at the time. Getting rid of consistency or being more lenient on it was like amazing change.
What does that entail?
Using the same pattern for the same sound.
Oh, interesting. So people were kind of like constricted in like if a melody played out in a certain way, they kind of had to stick to the pattern throughout the song,
Well,
or at least the same feel.
so in 2018 it was like that,
Mm.
but in 2019, like middle 2019 in the end, which is in my opinion why the ranking was so bad, is because a lot of the members at the time enforced criteria differently.
Okay.
Like a lot of the new members. Before it just had to be similar, similar feeling like it is now. Some new ranking team members came on, and I guess a lot of them just misunderstood, and then and ended up uh basically enforcing every map to copy paste everything.
Oh, okay. Man, I felt bad for copy pasting when I made my first map.
Bro, same. Mine was just a stream map. But I
Look,
think that kind of
look.
goes back to when I used to like play ranked, because back then everything was like a stream map, like Honesty was just like stream, and like
The stream meta.
Freedom Dive was like the pinnacle of stream meta.
Mm-hmm.
So like my first map ended up being a stream map, and I ended up like throwing it away before anyone could see it.
Oh, you were gonna say something, Hoppa?
I just lost my train of thought.
That's okay.
And that's why we do it offline.
Yeah, but I
What
could
were you
include
talking
this
about?
if I wanted to.
You
Include
could.
it as a separate entity clip that will then go onto the
I
Twitter
mean, you
account.
could.
Hello, Twitter. How are you all doing?
Hi, Twitter. I've left a stupid comment. All right, Hoppa, what kind of maps do you currently enjoy?
Anything that does something different, mostly cooling maps.
Okay.
But otherwise, I don't really play Beat Saber much anymore. I'm just not really too interested in playing.
Mm-hmm.
That's understandable. I mean, a lot of things today are just like, it's different. It's a lot more different. And even if I haven't been in the community as long as you three have, because you three are boomers and what have you, I can already tell that stuff is different just from how just headsets themselves have made a difference in just that term.
Like,
It's insane because like you've got the original quest, the general age and the consensus of the community started to just get younger, and with that you just felt the community just do this 180 of where everyone just went and just in like terms of age, but in the term of the mapping quality went straight up, and it was incredible to watch, to be perfectly honest.
Who consistently produces creative patterns?
Cooling.
Cooling? Yeah. I honestly, I fucking adore Cooling's rendition of Reloaded that he recently released. I feel like he did so much justice.
Cooling has the most influence on my modern mapping.
Yeah?
That's not too much, though, I would say.
Okay.
But I do occasionally take patterns or look at his map for inspiration.
Yeah, that's something that I remember, like, once again bringing Cheesy Dream up. Remember there was a podcast that Cube Community was doing back in the day.
Yep, I was on it.
Where he was talking about how, like, sometimes he will watch, he'll look at a map and he'll see a pattern that obviously, like, it wasn't executed well, but he would basically say, like, that's a cool pattern.
That's something he got from Sod.
I want to find a way to make that work, and I always really appreciate that take from him.
Yeah, he got that from Sod. That's what Sod did. A lot of his patterns weren't original; they came from maps he played.
Mm-hmm.
And then he made them into something that has more of a.
He found a Lego piece and he figured out how to put it together.
Yes. More polished, I guess.
Yeah.
Even though now they wouldn't be too polished, for the time they were. And he had a lot of unique patterns.
Okay, Hoppa. This is an intervention. It's not actually a podcast. We had to bring you on to ask you what VTubers have you monetarily simped the hardest for?
I mean, is that even a question?
All right, somebody put the spotlight on him. Hoppa.
I mean, look at my look at my PFP.
Plummy.
Oh.
I honestly I can't see how you wouldn't after like that initial time that you had sent in your first super chat to her. Oh my god.
Hop, 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 hop. Hoppa-san. Hoppa-san. ホッパーさん、ありがとうございます。
Hoppa-san. Hoppa-san. Arigato.
Yes, that was a sealer for me.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what put the nail in the coffin for you. Like, okay, I found her.
At that moment, I knew this VTuber I would serve for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So that's when he fell down the rabbit hole and you knew you weren't coming back out.
Oh no, I'm pretty sure he was already down the rabbit hole.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He just found the void that he would jump into inside the rabbit hole.
Got it.
Yeah. Melocat, what VTubers?
Don't put me on the spot like that. I really, really like Amelia Watson.
I'm taking the spotlight off of Hoppa. Spotlight's in your eyes. Answer the question.
I really like Amelia Watson. Gerda is obviously going to be like a lot of people's favorite. She's
Amelia
cool.
Watson is the full package.
I'm not really interested in Gerda at all, to be honest.
Yeah, everyone has their own likes and dislikes, so it's totally respectable.
I think it's just because I'm a hipster. I don't like popular things.
Yeah, I feel that. That's kind of how I am with like a lot of games too. It's like, oh, everyone wants to. I guess for example, Smash Brothers. Everyone wants to play Mario. I'm just never gonna play Mario. So I'm kind of the same way there. But I really like Amelia because like it has like that toxic humor at the same time as being like freaking adorable. So Amelia is pretty great, but definitely the chicken too. I like the chicken.
Oh, Kiara?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. She's perfect.
Kiara's the one I watch the most out of the EN VTubers, just because her content is more like the JP Hololive.
It is actually.
I don't care too much for how the other EN members run their content, just personally.
That's fine.
So I don't really watch them as much.
I would personally say that out of the English, Watson would be my favorite.
Yo.
You follow any YouTubers, Denya?
I actually.
Wait, did I
do
say
not.
Amelia?
Oh no,
So-
you said Kiara.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually don't follow any VTubers at all. I
Understandable.
have, like, obviously I like them because it's it's very cute to watch and what have you. And when you're bored, when you get to just lie in bed and you get to watch
Yeah.
VTubers, it's cool. But I don't really follow any like properly. I do see the appeal though.
Yeah, that's totally fine. That's
Yeah.
What about you, Mirden? Who you seen
I
before?
I would say Suisse.
I love Suisse. Suisse is good.
Adorable.
All right. Do we have any additional questions, or should we just ad lib?
I think we're good.
Oh, I don't care.
I got Minky
Yeah.
Bunny.
Okay. Hoppa.
Yes.
I don't know what to ask you. What do you have to ask us?
What gave you the idea to have me on? I
I
guess.
I appreciate the level of passion, and I felt like you did a fantastic job with your rendition of Nuclear Star.
Mhm.
And
Thank you.
I went through and played every single difficulty. I noticed like your different spin on every difficulty.
Yep.
And when I wanted to do an episode on basically a theme surrounded on the modernization of maps,
Lore diffs.
I wanted to
Oh.
I wanted to have you on because
Yeah.
one, I've gotten to know you a little bit.
Mhm.
I feel comfortable around you, and I respect your contribution.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that's just what I try hardest, I guess.
Yeah.
That didn't really. I would say that didn't really come into play though until I came back to mapping, after I had originally got banned.
Yeah.
A lot of my mapping was pretty stale, in my opinion, before that. With a few exceptions.
I don't know, those triple diagonal down notes at the end of every map were pretty.
Hey, those are kind of iconic. I kind of like those.
I honestly I only started taking notice to that when Whoops pointed it out. He's like, "All right,
Mhm.
there's Hoppa's downward like notes that he would do
Yep.
at the end of every song."
I don't know, man. Every time I hit those and I get like a 115 on 2 of them and like on the last one, like a 90, I'm like, wow, I kind of feel like a badass right now. That was kind of cool.
Thanks.
It's a good way
Hoppa.
to finish a song.
Yeah.
I really like it.
It's like a nice like little signature, I would say.
Yeah, it's like a jazz song.
Mhm.
Like every jazz song uses the same lick that da 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 da. Man, that's like Hoppa's little lick right there. I love it. It's just like that little.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. That's like your trademark. I like it.
Yeah. I have a different trademark now, I would say.
What is your trademark now?
Yeah, what would you say that is?
Hold on, Cooling posted it once. Let's see. Those like kind of like circle-y streams that go in a circle, but like
Oh,
Yeah.
don't
Oh,
just go in
yeah.
top row. I mean, don't just go in bottom row.
Oh yeah, I've seen. Actually,
Narwhal uses them a lot. I think he got them from me.
Obviously, everyone has their different preferences on maps, but
Mhm.
a lot of that can also come down to headset as well. I have found out, like, when I was on Rift S to go in towards to one index, which I'm on now, on Rift S, like, trying to do anything tech related or like slightly awkward angle is a lot harder than being able to do it on index, because with an index, all your weight is distributed evenly, so you can easily just rotate your wrist in whatever direction. But if you're using Claw on a Rift S, it is so difficult because everything's placed inside of your hand. You're trying to rotate your wrist and the controller at the same time rather than just rotating your wrist. And for that is the main reason, I believe, in my opinion anyway, as to why there is so much anger around like maps
Oh yeah,
that
I
are
gotta
just
go
not
delete that from the
straightforward.
description.
Yeah, I'm curious as to how
Oh,
that
yeah.
conversation continue, because like I remember back in 2019, and plenty of other people were complaining about the difference in feel of how maps played out, whether you were playing on Vive controllers or on Rift controllers. And I kind of wonder, like there were even people that said like Vive controllers should have their own rank. Like if you're,
I disagree with that because you can be just as good as well, at least at the time. I'm sure people could still do it, like
but then
Flea or something.
something like that throws something like that fact for a loop is like, do you remember what Flea said on Twitter recently about him switching to Rift?
Mm.
He said that he couldn't even get past the first minute of Melancholia on.
Oh, it was OV, not Melancholia.
Oh, OV. Okay. OV.
Mm.
On Vive controllers, and Flea is like one of the best players in the entire community. And then he said, like the day of the sight read of him using Rift, he got like a 92% on it.
Mm.
So
yeah, it's overpowered. It's not overpowered, but it's just like that has to be able to be good nowadays. Unless your name is Gosh or Silverhaze or Patopta, you need to be on Oculus. I've noticed myself, it's like I was on Rift S, I was able to get like what? So let's say my OV score, I have a 92.63 on that from 3 months ago when I was on Rift S. When I've got an index, I have had one run so far where I didn't fail and I got 97. It's a night and day difference between the two headsets.
See, for me, when I tried Rift and Index, I got way worse from
Oh, really?
Vive. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just personal preference thing.
I'm not
true.
I'm not the person to like make any kind of like decision on that, but I think it's like an interesting topic to talk about.
I mean, obviously, Vive does have its cons because of the heavy controllers.
Yeah.
But in the end, you compensate for that. And it's the same. You compensate for different things with different headsets, basically.
Yeah, I mean that's the same with everything. With until Index gets like, because apparently there was supposed to be a headset, a controller that Index is supposed to be getting, which is like a, Steam VR in general. Actually, it's supposed to be like a super light, goes around your fingers, you can't beat it kind of controller. It's gonna be like $100 or something like that, and it's supposed to be like super good. And for Beat Saber, obviously, with it being a light controller strapped to your hands, you could literally just go flying with it. And that's what people are excited. Well, that's what people are excited for. I remember there was a lot when it first got announced on Kickstarter. Everybody was footing over it because it was like, this could change the game literally. Because it's like having the Rift S controllers, getting rid of the ability to hold it because they literally just hold on your hands. And literally all you need to do is just hold it like you're holding it, like you're doing a fist, and then you just need to wave your hands around incredibly fast. And if you've got the visual clarity improvement, which you get over the Index, or say if you had a HP reverb, you've literally got, there is nothing stopping you from becoming one of the best players in the world, easily.
Unless you're old.
Unless you're old.
Yeah.
I'm turning 28 this year.
I'm gonna be an old man. I'll be 24.
I mean, well, at the ripe old age of 17. I'm a bit far from you guys.
Remember I got made fun of the other day. I remember I passed a vibro map, right? And I figured out how to vibro finally, like, and actually do it accurately. And I was like, whoa, guys. And it was during a stream, so I was joking, like, yo, WDG, where you at? And then someone was like, bro, you're too old to hang out with them. Go back to a retirement home. I was like, oh, never mind. Sorry. So I guess I'm just too old to be good at the game again.
I mean, that's not the case. It's just like, with WDG, obviously,
Yeah.
they're all like a solid good 80% of them are under 18. I can say that
Yeah, they're all
Oh,
rubber
man.
wristed zoomers.
100% certainty. Yeah, they're all on their quests and their rift S's, and they're all just flying. And it's, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's really cool to watch. Like, some of the stuff that they do is really
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
But for me personally, it's all about accuracy on the play rather than rather than being able to pass it. Like, it's cool that I remember seeing something on Cube Community, which actually had the honor of editing, actually, which was a video of one WD. I can't remember what WDG player, but they passed Zytrin, something by Zytrin, and I can't remember what it was. But it was just like, it was seen as impossible. It had a $200 bounty on it, and got the guy got it, and it was just like,
Yeah.
it's insane to watch. Like, it's incredible to watch, but it's just like, to me, you kind of just get numb to it. What I like to watch
Yeah.
is like, you see players like KLKK, and that's the kind of player that I want to be like. Like,
Yeah.
I remember seeing KLKK's 90% on fidget spinners and going, what? And being mind blown by that. And now, you get to a point where I've watched enough of it to be able to do it myself. It's like Bean also released recently a new version of Umu after he wasn't really a fan of the old one. The expert diff on that is literally just 400 BPM jump screens, and that is so much fun to play because it's literally just, it feels right for the map. It doesn't feel like it's overemphasized. It feels correct, if you get what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know exactly what
Yeah.
you mean.
It feels
Yeah,
right.
it has
That's-
when maps have a really, really strong a 1/4 sound, you usually map at the jumps. That's how I do it
Yeah.
back down.
I think I actually have my replay of that somewhere.
Though not if it's too fast. Usually that's gonna be in like a lot of like Western EDM that you're gonna have hard 1/4 in.
2019 brought on the slider meta, right?
I think so. I think
Mm,
late 2018.
early yes, late 2018. Late 2018.
Late
I think it was December. November and December, I think. December is Acid Burst, I think.
Yeah, Acid
I'll look
Burst
it
and
up.
Hype. Remember,
Why do I remember that?
Yeah.
they were definitely like, I remember Acid Burst maps.
Oh
that-
wait, no, it's not. It is the 9th day.
the
I
ninth
remember
day
for
of
a
what?
while I hated them, the sliders.
The 9th day of March. So it was 2019. What? Well, actually, let's see. Iraqi. I think the first real slider map was Hype.
Yeah, that's the one that I always think back to when it came to like the beginning of when sliders
And why it's
started
still so
becoming
much
popular.
a loved map.
Yeah. That whole section, I remember. I didn't really like too much of like the rest of the map, but I feel like that one slider section in Hype really kind of just
Yeah.
just
That was like, it's like Hetz's map where it has one really memorable section
yeah.
that sticks out.
I feel like that map in particular kind of opened people's eyes to the possibilities with sliders, and now it's
Mhm.
just
Sliders
incorporated.
are, yeah. Iraqi will deny it every single time, but he really changed the meta with sliders.
Really, I remember I even like people referred to sliders back then as the Iraqi sliders.
Mhm.
Wow, I didn't know
I
that.
think I remember catching wind of that. I'm not
Way
too
before
sure,
my
but I
time.
think I remember them being called that.
Yeah.
Oh, so how Iraqi actually got the idea for Hype is this really, really weird tech map in Osu. That has like these slider streams. And I was like, and Iraqi was like, I wonder if I could make slider streams work in Beat Saber. And that's how Hype ended up coming out.
How
was
does
so
I actually have a
actually
rendition.
perfect.
I actually have a small rendition of Hype.
He was so close to making it perfect. If he just made the streams 1/16 instead of 1/8, it would have been the perfect map, hands down. I mean, the streams are still playable. It's just that they're so much harder to hit.
You have to slow down for a lot of sliders on older maps.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you miss or you shit miss, or you get really a horrible ack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would usually swing too fast and I'd hit like the first 2 notes and then I'd get
And
like a
that's
0 on the
the
last
yeah.
one.
And people also got used to playing them.
Yeah, now I really can't see any map without sliders anymore. It's kind of like
It's just a part of mapping.
yeah.
There isn't a map that's specifically a slider map now. It's just a part of mapping.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only map
of
that
things
comes to mind when I think of sliders though is your Nanny the Fuck every single time. That is the slider
really?
map for me. Yeah.
I mean,
that
yeah,
is the slider map.
that was like I wanted to spam sliders in that because I don't know, it just fit at the time.
Yeah,
It
still
was
fits the same.
how I thought of it. I would
Mm.
map it a lot different now. I wouldn't use as many sliders because I don't like slider spam. I just thought when I map, actually, I don't actually like playing some of my maps as a player, but I like some of my maps a lot as a mapper. And vice versa. There's some maps that I really don't like as a mapper that of mine, but I really like as a player.
I see.
Like examples, I guess I hate my Nani. I do not like playing my Nani at all, but I love the way I represented it. At least at the time I did.
Yeah.
I hated my Inferno. I guess I didn't like playing that either. Same with my Legend of Millennium.
Oh man, Legend of Millennium. I haven't had that in ages. Oh my god. Completely forgot about that map. And then there was
My Holding On, the one that my first map that got ranked when I came back.
yeah.
That's one where I don't really care too much for the mapping as a mapper, but I love it as a player. Because it's really simple mapping. It's like there's no creativeness in it, at least in my opinion. That's why I don't like it as a mapper, but it feels great to play and why I love it as a player.
Yeah. Great song. Great map. I did really enjoy that one. And
that's actually I made that map because I played a SOT map and loved it of that song. Though it's a guest diff. SOT did a guest diff on Sotart's map set of a Holding On.
Okay. With that, Hoppa, I would like to thank you again for coming on.
Thanks for having me. I had a lot of fun.
It was a good time. Melo, Denya, also thanks for joining me.
Yeah, and
thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
So, with that, thank you for watching, and see you next time.